Hi, and welcome back to Good Deeds Blossom, Tsuji USA's 30th Anniversary Special Edition. I'm your host, Dilbar Shatterson, and this month, we're bringing you stories that highlight the impact Tsuji USA has had in the Americas and beyond. We begin this week on a powerful note, with people who've risen like phoenixes from the ashes. Little over a year ago, some of California's worst and deadliest fires broke out across the state. The wildfire ignited on November 8, 2018, burning through Los Angeles and Ventura counties. It spread nearly 151 square miles, roughly a third of the size of LA. It took with it 1,600 structures and forced the evacuation of approximately 200,000 residents. Many, like the people you'll see in this video, are still dealing with the immense aftermath of it all. But even after going through their life's greatest challenge, they still find a way to express the positive feelings they felt, knowing they had Tsuji volunteers to rely on.
I live here, well, we used to with my wife and my mother-in-law, my daughter, her husband. We actually left the night before the fire came through here. It was devastation. It was like molten steel. Nothing survived the fire. It was so hot. The mobile home was basically, the chassis was twisted metal. Everything was just melted on the ground like molten. It was almost like a Superman movie. This is a small community in the mountains. People aren't millionaires here. All of these people are displaced until now. It's almost a year later. You can see the signs up on the lots. Some people had to sell and move on, and we took it for granted that we live in the Santa Monica Mountains, and you don't realize that natural disasters can happen. In rebuilding, we are planning to be prepared for fire.
We are a 35-acre lake in the Santa Monica Mountains of Los Angeles County, and we were dramatically affected by the wildfire. 84 families lost their homes here. And that was our other next-door neighbor's house. And then that was his next-door neighbor's house. And there are 5 more by the dam. Those are a historic tree for us. They're called deodar cedar, and they're very beautiful. They're like Dr. Seuss pines. One of the most meaningful things that happened right after the fire was there was a disaster recovery center, and one of the most important and most visited spots was Tsuji. First of all, because of the blanket. The notion of a comfort-providing, it could make me cry, comfort-providing blanket was a really treasured thing at that time. And then also, there were cash grants that were extremely helpful because people were staring down the barrel of economic anxiety, and Tsuji was right there to fill a gap. And then there was also a beautiful message of hope that Tsuji was talking about, and it felt like there were professionals in the room who understood how to navigate a future that seemed very uncertain. So it was beautiful.
I have known Tsuji for years and years. They bring love and professionalism. They are still here. They dedicate themselves to the process of recovery.
We have been working with about 50 different households. We visit them at their temporary residence to meet with them to check into their recovery plan. Hi, Winifred. How are you? Good. You look great. Thank you. Yeah. I'm good.
And you think that everything's normal and you're walking through life normally, but you realize at one point that no, you're not. This is not normal because you're having an overwhelm of feelings.
You feel emotionally drained, and because all the things
absolutely.
going on. So Winifred is one of our long-term recovery clients. She had to sell her house. Basically, she is a therapist. However, because of the disaster, she cannot provide things to other people. Have you ever had any of your clients that are wildfire survivors?
Yes.
So do you feel a lot of countertransference when you're talking to them?
People, like I said, were severely PTSD, like twitching, I even had a lot of young kids that would come.
We share with her the Tzu Chi's way of helping people and the things that Master shared with us. And it really resonated with her because she also does a lot of meditation. And she said that she will be able to use the things we share with her to help her clients. And I'm sure that you're using a lot of things you learned from your experience to help other people.
Yes. I think one of the biggest things I took away from this experience is your compassion.
Oh,
I mean that. The day you came, just your compassion was so incredible, and I shared that with many people. Okay, I wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to give you this to say thank you with my heart to yours.
Thank you.
For its rose quartz.
This is so precious.
And my gratitude to you.
Thank you,
Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You saved my life, literally.
Fire was marching down the canyon here. The fire wrapped around us like a tornado. My son and I were here defending the house and eventually had to abandon our efforts.
Bowl of water for the dog here.
Here, look. Want a drink? Here, get a drink. We got our camper van and evacuated down to Zuma Beach, and then we were able to get the camper van back over here on the property, and my son is staying in that. We're going to put new bolts and things and put new floor joists in here, and this will be single-story framed in this area, and so it's pretty easy. Just if we can get to that point of rebuilding, we'll be in good shape. That's the less challenging part, I suppose, once we get to start building. But we did find out there's so many helpful people out here that just want to give and want to help who maybe weren't affected, and they want to come in the areas and help out any way they can. How you doing?
Hey, I'm your friend.
Good to see you.
Good to see you
Yeah,
too.
Paul, yeah.
We come here with love and compassion because for a lot of disaster victims, what they really need is not just money, but more importantly, to have someone there to provide them support, to let them know that they are not alone, they are not forgotten.
When they give relief to people, they give you one of these little canisters. It's been about, 10 months now, 11 months, and we have it filled with quarters, and I was gonna give it back to the group this afternoon. Since your group, we met them at one of the booths a while back. Yeah, they had given us one of the blankets that your group makes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we cherish it. It's so nice and soft. And they'd given us one of these cans to fill up with quarters
Oh, my God.
for keeping the thought going and more donations and stuff. So we actually have it all filled. I want to give that to you guys.
Oh, thank you so
And
much.
thank you
Paul.
guys.
Let me give you a
Oh,
hug.
yeah. Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Really
I'll-
appreciate this.
Oh, I appreciate it too.
Make sure to pass it to the next person.
Yeah, and your group is so good too. I'm just glad you guys are able to have the resources to be able to give back to people like that.
Just like the warm feeling one gets from a cozy blanket, Tzu Chi volunteers strive to show the people they serve some comfort and positivity. This could not have been more pronounced than during the campfire in Butte County, California, which, coincidentally, began on the same day as Woolsey. Yet it proved far deadlier. More than 80 people died and over 19,000 structures were destroyed, the entire town of Paradise along with it. About a quarter of homes were not fire insured, leaving many with little resources to move forward after losing everything. But insured or not, families still had an entire life to rebuild from scratch. Tzu Chi USA's Hope Heals campaign last year sought to help. In the weeks after the campfire, volunteers were able to provide thousands of families with a collective total of $4.2 million in emergency aid, blankets and scarves, bamboo banks, and a shoulder to cry on. Many locals, themselves rattled by the devastation of the campfire, embraced the call to action and pitched in to help. Now you'll see how they're working hard, even a year later, to help heal their still fragile community from within.
We're in Paradise now. And as you can see, if you look around, there really is very few areas that the fire didn't touch. It's really weird because when you look into the sides of the road, now you can actually see several hundred yards back into these neighborhoods. Back when these houses were here, you couldn't see anything. All you could see is the houses that lined the streets here. Yeah, this was my town.
It's hard to say what these trees mean to me when I can taste them out.
Fire destroyed everything that I had physically, like all my physical possessions, but I still had my music inside.
My heart always goes home to paradise.
I had a feeling that the song that I wrote was going to mean a lot to people, and you know, when I posted it for the first time after I first wrote it and put it on Facebook, and I woke up the next day and it had 10,000 views.
It's hard to say what these trees mean to me.
Okay, that's amazing. They've cleaned up Alan's house. I haven't seen that yet. And they've cleaned up my house. Wow. Okay, this is my first time seeing this. I have not seen my cleaned up property yet. Wow. This is where my house was. My entire life was here. Bedroom, bedroom, bedroom is what it was. And my bedroom was in the back, right here in the master bedroom. My two kids' bedrooms were right here. I had a swing set for my kids right back there. I had a hot tub right here underneath this tree. Oh wow, look at this. One of my son's toys. It looks like maybe the construction guys probably set that up. That's funny. I remember buying, he got that for Christmas. That's funny. Kind of sad too when you look at it though, because it's like that's all that's left of our life here.
I'm an artist and I practice massage. I'm a student at Chico State. I'm actually student teaching at the continuation high school here in Chico this semester. And I was recently hired as a disaster case manager. Painting is like reaching out and touching God, you know, or just sitting in your essential nature and letting everything dissolve around you. I was actually fortunate to have left town at 6 a.m. on November 8th. As soon as I got here, I went to the Disaster Recovery Center, and to help the survivors, we had to volunteer with an organization. So I saw a Buddhist, and I was like, oh, Buddhist, great. I've practiced Buddhism for 15 years. I was like, perfect, my people. Then I was there every day for the next month. And that was how I met Suchi. They were selflessly working ceaselessly to relieve the suffering of all the people that walk through their doors. And nowhere else was I really getting that feeling. And that's why I knew they were my people, because I had that same determination.
So I can see a lot of faces, very, very familiar, way back in the DRC Senior Center. I want to congratulate the United Way to have the new office here. Best way to support that is to have our office also in the same location. So we do have an office here. I'm sure together we can make our community better and serve our survivors much, much better. Thank you.
And they asked if I could be a disaster case manager in the long-term recovery group.
After 1 month of this disaster, there's a long-term recovery group established. These survivors do not know what are available for them. They do not know there are actually a lot of resources available.
We're doing case management and art here.
So disaster case managers, we work on gathering all this information, knowing what are the needs of these clients, and then leading them to reach their goals. For example, emergency funds assistance. There are also some agencies providing rebuilding tools or like trailers providers, temporary housing, employment, medical services, and all those things, yeah.
When I meet with the survivors, they have like a fog over them. Their thinking's completely muddled. And a lot of times they start out with the day of the fire. You listen through that and then, there's tears usually. And then there's, I go, okay, so where are you living now? And where do you want to be living? And then pull out my list of items and I say, okay, this is the first thing you need to do. And they say, oh, you're gonna help me? I say, yeah, I'm gonna help you.
Bobby, she is a very, what's the word? I lost my English word. She is kind of like a very main driver of the whole team in Tzu Chi for the disaster case management work. She does a lot of cases. She takes a lot of responsibilities on herself. Yeah, and she's doing a very great work.
We worked on the value scale and the color wheel. People are suffering. Every day I meet people there. I have never seen people so in so much pain. Everybody I meet, that's everybody, every one of them. They're suffering so deeply. And I want to help them. And I do.
Initially, I came into contact with the Tzu Chi Foundation at a donation center.
So today you will receive a debit card with a value of $600.
That's incredible.
And
I evacuated with these two guitars right here. After the fire, when I met with the Tzu Chi group, they gave me the $600 card, and I was able to get this this guitar in the middle right here, which is it's beautiful. It plays great, and I needed it to continue performing in the community and stuff. There's still some significant challenges in front of me. I'm still looking for work. I'm still taking care of my kids full time, and still looking for the next chapter of my life to begin post-fire in a professional setting.
We were able to help Skip during the emergency relief phase. Now, we understand that he is still in a lot of trouble getting back his life, and we decide to give him help through case management.
I'm really excited to go talk to Bobby at the Tzu Chi Foundation at the Chico headquarters.
I don't know Skip. Somebody sent his contact to me, and so we set up an interview immediately.
Hey, Bobby. She wanted to know how I was doing. You know, I was kind of telling my story and talking about the fire. I lost my job. I got full custody of my kids. Now I'm fighting another custody battle. Bobby just very quickly was like, that's a lot. That's a lot to go through.
So let's talk about your mental health, because I really appreciate you.
I'm about to start crying right
I
now.
really appreciate you. I really
not good.
appreciate you opening up. I really appreciate you opening up, because this is why I'm here. I'm here to help you. Okay? Can I come over? Can I come over? Give you a hug?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. People tell them, get over it. It was 9 months ago. Get over it. Move on. It's over now. And then I come along and I say, yeah, here we are, and this is really difficult. And then there's just tears because someone's listening to them. I can see you're resilient and that you'll get through this period of time. Yeah.
Right now, we understand that he needs a job. So we are exploring possibilities of finding a job for him, either internally or externally to Tzu Chi.
There are so many people that need to recover, to rebuild, but there are only less than 15 case managers right now in the community. That's the biggest challenge that we are facing right now.
It looks like there might be an opportunity for me to come to work with the foundation as an intake specialist, hopefully, and helping people directly, which I'm really excited about. Being a survivor myself, I can instantly know what this person is going through and what some of the things already are that they might need in terms of housing and a job and support. People are still in a lot of need for long-term relief, and my goal is just to continue helping them as much as I can and finding my own healing in the process. That's what helps me, is just helping others.
In our hearts, we're all saying prayers for those families struggling through the aftermath of California's devastating wildfires. When we have these kinds of feelings, what can we do with them? Dharma Master Jungyan says, give compassion a form with concrete actions. This can be anything from making someone's day brighter with a smile, saving money to donate to a good cause, or volunteering your time to an effort that tugs at your heartstrings. The karmic energy we put forth can help heal and inspire others to pass it on, especially as the frequency of disasters increase with time. In fact, statistics say that 1 out of every 5 Americans has already had to evacuate their home at least once in their lifetime. With the future looking increasingly dangerous, now is the time to act. Long after the Wolzian campfires, we're seeing more and more individuals join Tzu Chi's ranks and committing their time and energy to long-term care and assistance to families still in need. They make it their mission to see the unseen and be there for them for the long haul. Thank you for watching today's episode of Tzu Chi USA's 30th Anniversary Special Edition, Good Deeds Blossom. Be sure to tune back in tomorrow, where we'll travel down south to visit people driven out by hurricanes and floods, but are also keeping their heads above water. From the Tzu Chi Center in New York City, I'm Dilbar Shatterson, and I'll see you then. Thank you.